just now. I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power. It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You told him he did everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
I think it's the latter. I think that was the way that he was talking about it. It was as if, and how fast he did it, was as if he just couldn't do anything more.
Where
Holy
the heck
shit!
did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida. Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here. Even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible. We're out! And we're at, an inn or something? This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with.
Not
Leave
even
this
me,
room
the
here.
hero. I can help with it. No
An
way.
emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay? Don't worry. If my assessment is correct,
The
though
other
there
man.
may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please.
Shit.
Her
Oops.
voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Great Lord Rukadavada, and the ballad is question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, but the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. Why doesn't she remember Great Lord Rukadavada? That's interesting. I'll skip the part about Great Lord Rukadavada for now and focus on the balladeer. You tell Paimon what the balladeer asks you, and
He
he might.
wants to change the past?
Yeah.
But surely that's impossible.
It's not easy,
Wait,
that's for
you
sure.
can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history. Maybe he wants. Oh, that's not cool. Paimon, are you okay?
Sorry, Paimon accidentally... Ugh. Mm. It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
I'm guessing here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually
You can
succeed,
say that again.
right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what situation would look like. What the situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the right in Gokuden. Kaza, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean they'll disappear? I think it's only gonna
There's
change
nothing we can do about
himself.
it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? If that
Of course, it
doesn't
has to be
work,
food.
Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Drayan chili chicken.
Doing chili
satisfying
chicken.
salad? Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup.
Imagine passing out from Paimon just yapping. Yapping all over the place. Holy shit.
Um, um, hmm? What do we...
What
What
happened?
was Paimon supposed to be doing just now?
Wait.
Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it
About
again? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though.
Wait. So the Balladeer did change the past. Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer. That must mean he actually pulled it off? But how did he have that ability? That doesn't make
What's
sense.
wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
No, it's nothing.
So,
It's alright,
the
it's alright, it's alright.
Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
This is an emergency. Bro, this is a critical emergency. Holy shit. I love left stick drift. Dance for destruction. The Balladeers caused a series of unexpected consequences within Irma's soul, and you're the only one aware of that. In order to assert the situation, you head off to Inazuma. Let's go to Inazuma City.
We made it to Amanoma Smithy.
I'm an Smithy.
It's been a while.
I'm gonna take a part of me to ask
Of
you a question.
course. Go ahead.
About the Rakugoden, tell me the story of...
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden-Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju.
Okay, that's all correct.
The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as
Okay.
generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive.
Wait, what about the Ishin?
But fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up
Okay.
the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5.
Okay, that's right. That's correct. That's how it is in
If
Kazuha's
my
story
memory
arc.
serves me right,
Story.
you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh,
Yeah.
we were. Paimon remembers that now.
Yeah,
But
the
I
cursed
forget
blade.
about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a shame.
That, my friends, is a tragic tale. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these
All
years,
I knew the great
I
those
knew of
clans'
those great
demise.
clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaede Harakazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful?
400 years ago,
400 years ago?
so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan.
Let me read this again so I fully understand what the hell happened. Tatarasuna was home to the state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa. He has a family.
Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out.
Okay, so what about Nagasama?
The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself and grew up deeply resentful at the world.
You can imagine anyone
in his
else.
Heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery.
That sounds horrible.
Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end.
Okay.
He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raikkonen has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. It looks like the Baldir did something in Irminsul, but Niwa still died.
Anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
So he still exists. He's the same Kazuha. I know now. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon.
From the way that Paimon said it, it's almost like he didn't want to follow along. Like, as if this guy doesn't lead us to so many random ass adventures that we could care less about.
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters.
Traveler, it's been a while. If
Hello.
you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
We're there right
The
now.
Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Think we take up on that offer. I guess we could wait inside. Can we take a walk
If
around
it
the
were
courtyard?
anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then.
Let's do it.
Hmm? Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Ma'am, can I ask you a couple questions real quick?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the commissioner's behalf.
Well, that's good to
As
hear.
for the commissioner himself, well, you know,
As
busy
busy
as
as
ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So
I wonder
pretty
why.
much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very.
Ayato is still the Yashiro Commissioner. Ayaka is still the lady that has no changes here. As far as I can see, nothing in the Yashiro Commission has changed either. I was expecting as much. But it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are still
Well,
safe and well.
got any more questions?
Are both safe and well. That's all for now. Thank you.
You're
Many thanks.
very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you.
She must also tell me that she's in love with me.
I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
I mean it. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity,
There's
he'd
not much that's
always
changed there.
prefer. They say it's because Toma's a much better chef than most. Oh, the commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They
That's
get
good.
to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and
Okay, you're kind of glazing me
experiences
too hard right
they've
now. Stop
had,
stroking my ego. I don't care.
you always get a mention. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So,
That's good.
in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you for the free glaze. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really great. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course.
Yeah, same.
You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next? Great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
See you, Furuta.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yeah. Got a
Everything's
busy
taken care of
schedule,
now,
you know
don't
me,
worry.
bro. The hero of
Very
the
well.
world.
Safe travels. Goodbye.
Okay, let's see. This is to check out. Let's see.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something? Or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in Paimon?
Okay.
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Xavier? I was pronouncing it as
I
Xavier.
was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know about much about Sarasuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How do you understand the history
Like
of the
the back
area?
of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Okay, okay. Tell me more. We need to know.
Oh, well,
But if you're a guy
it's
named
a
Escher,
long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
it's crazy how foreshadowing of a Fontaine inventor was actually like that. Oh, people from Fontaine are here. So imagine. So maybe that there's people from Fontaine from even further back. So mechanic colors that looks like the doctor still sabotages the furnace, leading to all
Hey,
the
weren't you gonna ask
ensuing
Xavier
chaos.
something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I am, bro. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much.
Sure,
Yeah, not gonna lie.
go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a kabuki mono connected to
A
Sarasuna?
kabuki-mono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman, for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki-mono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
So there are no more kabuki mono. The balladeer really didn't erase himself from the history completely. If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, it looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thank
Of
you,
course! Don't mention it.
Javier, or I don't know
we're
how to
leaving?
pronounce his name.
Okay, bye, Xavier.
Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Goodbye.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
Time to go back to Lost
Sure,
Road Personality.
What's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you.
I feel like this is gonna be another thing that we're not gonna talk about
Keep your
Paimon. Nothing.
smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Oh, I'm stealing that. Keep your smile, Spino Crocodile. Oh, that's actually fire.
Hey, don't mention it.
Totes my goats.
Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Echoes of history. Okay, this drifting is actually super dumb. I did not mean to go and call upon. I'm gonna get a new controller. It's a little bit annoying, can't lie. Ah, wait, actually, thought so. I'll claim the rewards after this thing is done. Swartsuna. Um, not what I meant to click on. Oopsies. Okay, so we're not even close to being done with the story. Okay.
Hey, it's them.
Don't point at me, boy.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Bro, anyway, these guys are still here. Are you still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
Oh,
We have
wait.
time. What do you want to talk to?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still
Okay.
looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
So because the traveler is not from this world, he's not affected by the things that happen. I feel like there's gonna be a pivotal point in the story where, like, because he doesn't get affected, he's gonna be like endangered. Like, do you guys know how in like Ben 10 Omniverse there was like that Chrono Sapien time bomb where it affected everybody else except every single Ben 10 except for the Ben 10 that was in that universe. Like, I feel like it's gonna be like like a reverse of what's been happening, where everybody gets affected except for him, and like someone's gonna like make a device or something where everybody gets affected, where everybody is fine except for him.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
The article actually let me
Huh?
read the last time again.
I
I'm not
presume
reading
you'll
all
want to
that.
read mine as well.
I'm not reading all that. I'm sorry. The context has changed. Another fact of tampering with the Irminsul. The balladeer said that he'd erased two of his names. If he really succeeded, then I've taken all of his might. But still, then it must have taken all of his might.
Well, what do you think?
Hey,
A
Trev,
masterpiece.
remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma.
Yeah.
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Amanoma clan, you say?
Then it
Well,
must
I
be
guess
true.
It must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information
Aw,
actually
shucks.
lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are
We've got
really
some things
into
to.
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
No probs.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
See ya, Bowski. You are the greatest Tootski to ever be toasted.
haven't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma. The Balladeer? Sounds like some kind of code name.
So even the god of wisdom doesn't know herself.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Even he doesn't remember. Just like that time, anything changed to Irma's soul affects hers or as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. If I'm the only one who remembers things that were erased, once again, I'm the record keeper.
Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
With a heavy heart, you take a piece together from the story that was broken and scattered across time. There was once a one named the Balladeer, created by Electro Archon. He was a puppet that lived among them. After a series of events in Sarasuna, the Balladeer, thinking that he had been thrice, thrice betrayed, thrice betrayed, left Inazuma's from the world beyond. With no trust for humans, only loathing for gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength. But then he returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis, but ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irmin's soul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irmin's soul, hoping that he could change the past. But how was he even able to do that? As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsoul, the world would change to reflect the new reality. So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world? Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsoul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsoul wouldn't affect him.
Okay, then by that logic, does that mean that if he was to then be planted in Irmin's, wait, so what if, because there's no information about, what if that if there was information planted in Irmin's soul, couldn't he then be affected as well?
So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Yes.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it? I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I'm not really sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything, or save someone, or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. Alright, it's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe all there is to it. I still remember this question he asked me, specifically, and my hesitation gave him the answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Great Lord Gridavada erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nihida that. To put it in another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it would work, but I can't tell him that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense. Every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left. Yeah,
Okay.
it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
He changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. That was fated to a tragic end, could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life, or did he wish he never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
She did that casually.
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
How do you have that? What?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Surprisingly, the information is presented to you in a way that remembers
Is
a
this
fairy tale.
a fairy tale?
Who
Who
wrote?
wrote it? I authored this record myself. Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer? When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Okay.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past? Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact.
Oh, it's actually smart. Because you may be able to change the past, but you can't change. Okay.
Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that, but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul. That's incredible! What a great idea!
Truly the god of
And
wisdom.
sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. The now erased life of the Balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes and joined them.
Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them.
Okay, Zhao. Lament!
But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us.
Oh.
Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this. The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure.
Fuck. So the fox is the doctor? The great fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop. The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and then it murdered it.
The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin."
The monster gave the heart of the water to the king, telling him the foxes have decided you are the one who must be sacrificed. Okay.
The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good.
Is the bird supposed to be the heart?
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Damn.
We solved it! I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use.
Oh,
I
okay.
buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered. It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion.
It's a sad
Paimon
story.
has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
So the doctor wanted. So is the doctor even human? Cause he's a monster. He's
The
lost for.
balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
We still don't know how they. Okay. So it has never. I've never had this film before. It feels like life is.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better. This is why wisdom
so
alone
sad.
cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then conquer the troubles they face. When you
Yeah.
give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along. Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again. Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head? You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after.
Yeah, maybe she's right. Let's go.
The stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Let's go. Oh, and for any of those wondering, I am running no Noblesse Oblige on my main traveler and running Deep Wood Memories on Yao Yao. There's no rhyme or reason for me picking Noblesse Oblige on MC. I just thought, I think I just put it on him. That I don't know which is better to have on Dendro MC or Yao Yao, so I just picked Yao Yao. So I was like, whatever. Anyways. Bro, I've been yawning, bro. I'm so tired. I need a cup of tea.
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling that there's something missing. There's something important that I'm forgetting.
Are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, just give me a minute. I'm still processing. Gonna go to my lonely corner.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain, let's look this out. It's gotta be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Guerrilla Record of Vada, Forbidden Knowledge, Nahida.
Have you figured it out?
It was. Guerrilla Record of Vada, she that no one can erase themselves from existence. Not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanala to do the deletion? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Pamela. She doesn't know about Guerrilla Rukadavada, but this is a crucial, important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence, in which case the question is, what happened? Okay, so the Balladeer can't completely erase his existence, but he can change himself.
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Who's this? It is the Balladeer.
Hey! Hey, wait!
And it's him.
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look,
Damn.
if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
Hey man,
I
he's just a
wasn't
new
paying
kid up
close
in the
enough
block.
attention. Sorry, boss.
The fact that no one's questioning his like dress, his like outfit is actually
I
crazy right
think
now.
you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That's bro. That's the Balladeer, bro.
Who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
Damn.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias. And I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsetias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Okay. He's happy that... Drift. So convenient.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his sunsets? A bit too cruel? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
You two over there. Is there something I can help you with? You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely...
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
Also, isn't it canonically that Scaramouche was wandering around looking for his purpose until he then just found one, which is hating gods and also hating the humans that betrayed him as well. So this actually does fit along with the story. There's something that I want to take you.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, You should go live your life.
But I
W
don't-
merchant, bro. W merchant, bro.
No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you.
W character development. W character
All right,
development.
done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Okay. Let's check this shit out. Return to the sanctuary of Sansara.
Take it easy.